Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the 10-Minute Wellness Tips. Today, I am joined by Christina de Stael, who's somebody that I met now many years ago. And today we are going to talk about heart math, which I'm really excited about because I have heard of heart math, but I've not really done any reading about it. I don't know much at all. So I'm excited to learn about how that can, I guess, calm our nervous systems. And also, do you want to just tell us a little bit more about the things that you do, Christina?
Hello. So nice to see you, Tara. So nice that everyone can be here. I've been working in the holistic field for about 30 years now, and combining first working with Eastern and Western body techniques, and then moving into coaching, and then moving more into the mental and the emotional wellness side, which moved me into emotional freedom technique, working in the matrix, and then working with heart math. It's a very powerful tool to help you restabilize your body physically, mentally, and emotionally. The Heart Math Institute has been exploring the science of the heart. So you can go to their website to see about how to learn this coherency breathing. But today I'm going to be able to have the opportunity to share this with you. It's really simple, it's effective, it's a very useful tool for resetting the body, and it helps to bring you back into a 0-point gravity.
Great. Yeah, so when you, because we're sort of specifically talking to people who are grieving at the moment, I often talk about how it's really important to sort of work on keeping our hearts open, because there's a real tendency to want to, shut down and close. Yeah. And,
well, when we have the grief process, there's an element of, there was originally 5 stages of grief with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, but now I do believe they've gone up to 7 even. But within those first stages, the shock creates almost a feeling of being in an iceberg. You get a freeze. It's just too much to process. And grief is a strange bedfellow. It comes in many forms. Everyone has very different ways of dealing with it. Some like to throw themselves into life to have a different focus. Others like to really step back. We have to honor that process. It's not the brightest part of the life that we get to experience, but it shows us the depth of what we get to enjoy with what we do have. This is the existence of living in the polarity where we have those opposites to really feel how amazing each side is. But grief is a big journey, and we have to be kind to ourselves. We have to be loving to ourselves. And I think what you said about keeping an open heart is really important. And this tool allows you to step back into the heart. When we go into the mind, it's very easy to be able to get lost in the stories of our life, and that isn't in the now. And when we get to do this technique, we can be in our heart. We can see through the eyes of the heart and take one step at a time, really engaging with our heart, giving ourselves that love, and being able to be there peacefully.
Wow. I'm going to do the exercise. You're going to talk us through it. So should we?
Okay. All right then. Well, it's very simple. I mean, you're breathing already, so, you've already got that covered. It's just the way you're going to be doing it. Now, there's a little bit of science. It's a simple science. Excuse me. When we're going to do this breathing, it's a form of entrainment, which means that we are going to breathe in a way that gets in alignment with something called a sine wave. Now, a sine wave just goes up and down like that. And it's actually a picture of a hertz of 7.83 hertz per cycle per second. This was discovered by Schumann, who recognized and was a scientist that this was the rhythm that the planet that we live on is vibrating at. And because we are vibrating beings, and it's all about vibration, how low we feel, how high we feel, how we can bring ourselves back into that balance, having that vibration to be in alignment with is very calming for the body. It gets us back into 0-point gravity. So the first thing we do is we put our left hand on the center of our chest, right in the middle, just below our collarbone. Now in here, there's something that looks like a donut, and it's actually a torus. And the torus is something that, you know, you've seen in Einstein's pictures of how that energy goes down around, and also actually spirals too. And this is where everything comes into our body when we're interacting with our world. Now, the left side of the body is female and the right side is male. So when we use the left hand, it allows us to really connect into our heart. And the second thing is you imagine this sine wave, you imagine these lines going up and down. And just with completely normal breath, you breathe up the wave. And then exhale down the wave. And you breathe up the wave. And just down the wave. We're just going to keep going. Breathing up the wave. And down the wave. And you're just going to keep going with that thought of that line, inhaling up the wave. And close your eyes if you like to. And down the wave. And then you're going to start, the third thing is thinking about your favorite things. Now, the first thing I start with is kittens. Or baby puppies and huskies. And then we're going to breathe, inhale up the wave. And then sunsets on a beautiful beach, reflecting all the colours of the rainbow on an aqua sea. Breathing up the wave. And down the wave. Any of your favourite things, hugs from your beloveds, walking in the forest in the rain. Up the wave. Down the wave. Hot cups of chocolate before a roaring fire. And up the wave. And down the wave. Up the wave. And down the wave. One more time, just going up that wave. Just in your own time, you can just open your eyes. Now, you might be feeling a little calmer, a little softer, a little bit more relaxed. Now, I'm going to explain more science. What just happened there is when we're in a stressful situation, we tend to be in the back part of our brain, which I like to call the panic room. It's a survival place, and that's where the adrenaline and the cortisol and all those things are going off. Then we have the emotional department, the limbic brain. And then we have the front brain, left and right brains, two separate departments, but working together, hopefully, especially when we start to do this entrainment. And we can make decisions in this part of our mind. But when we're back here, it's really hard to function, and we're in that flight and fight mode. So what happens when you start to get on this lovely heart wave, happy wave, is you are not only physically bringing your entire body and your heart into entrainment with 7.83. This then allows you to move through the back brain into the middle, into the front. And then it also releases in your chemical body endorphins and serotonin, which cancels out the stress hormones that might have been going on. And then you're back in your here and now, you fall back into your heart, and it's that 0-point gravity. So as a function, this tool is something that's really good for regulating your body. When it comes to stress, we're not supposed to live in that state all of the time. This extraordinary planet we're living on keeps throwing us all sorts of adventures, and there has been a lot that one can have felt stressful about in these recent times. But we're living in here, in this body, and as within, so without. What are we doing every day to have that spiritual hygiene, eating the right foods, thinking the nice thoughts, resting the body, drinking enough water. Yes, there's a lot going on in the world, but we create the peace within, and as within, so without. And to develop a stillness inside ourselves is an anchor that will allow us to stand steady, like a reed that will bend in the wind, but still be strong and planted. And this tool actually allows you to cultivate a level of emotional intelligence and maturity, because it allows you to reset your body, to give yourself those good chemicals, and to keep bringing yourself back into that place of peace. And in these times, more than ever, to be able to have that walking around with you in your house, this is where you live, with whatever we're hearing and seeing and witnessing. It also helps us to stay in our hearts so we can hold love for all those that are in sufferance, and to hold that peace for them too.
Beautiful, Christina. As always, your articulation just astounds me. I love the way that you speak about things, and you're so knowledgeable. So I know this is just a little short interview. It's just a way that we kind of can share these things with people. If people want to find out more about HeartMath, they can go to the heartmath.org website.
Heartmathinstitute.org, yes, that's right. Yes.
And
yes.
I will also put a link to your page as well, so people can find out more about the work you do. But you're going to come back and we're going to do another episode on EFT.
Definitely. And as a final, just to say, do this first thing in the morning when you're having a cup of tea at breakfast. Do this at lunchtime for 3 to 5 minutes for a defrag. Do this when you're going to sleep at night, or do this for when you're experiencing a rocky moment and you just need to get back into the calm, and give your body some of that so you can land again. And, use it. And the more you do it, the more peace you feel, the more benefit it brings. And it's a really healthy tool for your mind, body and soul.
It sure is. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you, darling. Lovely to see you.